Hey, nerd out with me for a little bit here. So, I'm going to walk you through what I did to create an AI empowered event tech tool that takes a PDF menu that's a designed PDF and converts it into a spreadsheet. Now, what seemingly might appear as simple gets very complex behind the scenes. So, I want to walk you through just how I vibe coded my way through that process. And if you're not familiar with the term vibe coding, that is leveraging AI to kind of come up with a tool in which, like, I am a very junior developer, but I am able to work with AI to come up with a proper code to get the tool to do what I need it to do. Now, we are going to be beta testing some of these tools in the Pholeo platform, and we're putting this in our AI Toolkit. So you can head over to our website, pholeo.io, and click on AI Toolkit at the top to try out the finished product of this tool for absolutely $0 if you want to check it out. So let's walk through this process. Where I started was in ChatGPT, and as we are starting to get more familiar with how to deploy AI in a specialized way, it's all going to start with that initial prompt. So I said, as a senior developer who specializes in AI prompts that return structured data, like, I'd like you to help me think through how best to take this designed PDF from a hotel convention center, like the example attached, and parse out the menu items in a structured data way that would easily integrate in our product services in Pholeo. The user experience I'd like to create it is that an event or meeting planner would be able to upload the PDF menu along with their email and then get emailed with a CSV or spreadsheet version of the structured data output. What questions do you have that I can answer to help find the best solution for this user story? This last moment is where kind of the magic starts to happen, because I get then a bunch of questions that I can answer. Now, if you have no concept of developing, this is going to come back with a bunch of foreign jargon. But if you are tech savvy enough, you might be able to get your way through this. But the nice thing about AI is that you can slow it down and ask any of those questions and get the answer back right away for terminology that you're not familiar with. So luckily, I was able to already have a base point of understanding for this. So I fire back a bunch of questions. I use this shorthand of, if they have multiple bullet points nested in questions, the 2A, 2B, 2C, to get all of those questions answered. This is truly combining that event professional mind with my developer mind to say, like, here are the use cases of types of menus that were coming back. Here is how I want this tool to also be developed. So there's a lot of like bridging the event tech gap happening in here as well. It then spits back out just kind of an example data set of, is this what you're looking for? And I then fire back a response here, say like, yep, that looks pretty good. How do we go about doing this? Then, as you can see here from this tiny little toolbar, this conversation goes on for miles because there is a lot of iterating that happens. But what the direction we start to take is combining a few different platforms. We decided to leverage the interface tool in Zapier for this because it embeds nicely into our website pages, and then also provides a universal approach for uploading PDFs versus a Google form or something that's embedded in Pholeo that'll be blocked by a username and password. I wanted this tool to be free. So this is a tool called Zapier that allows for API integrations, and they've started to enhance their platform with something called interfaces here that allow you to create that landing page style of an interface that gives you the input field and then creates just a storage environment behind the scenes to get that information in a Zapier table. So the end product of this is very straightforward. It's a form with 3 inputs here, one of which is that upload menu PDF. Using the low cost or freer version of this, you are maxed out at a 5 megabyte upload, which is actually good for the throttling of this as well. And what I mean by throttling is that if you have a 80-page menu from a convention center or you have all of the menus ever produced and you upload that, it's going to really kind of ramp up this solution, and it might not return great results at the end. So by limiting the file size, we are actually also increasing our chances of a better output through this process. So once you upload here, a Zap triggers. If you're not familiar with Zaps, this is an API kind of step-by-step if-then. This one is very simple, that a new record is created in this table. And then this code runs in JavaScript, which is actually assigning just a job ID, so a unique identifier to this upload so that we can recall back to that at any time throughout this process. And then it will create that spreadsheet row in this menu parser doc here. So we see that here that we have the what this document is just a very straightforward log of here are those requests. So we have the job ID here. Here is that file URL. Here's the email that was submitted with the test, and here are the upload fields. But what I get out of this as well is a process to use as the status column here that will walk through those steps. So this is also kind of engineering that error log behind the scenes. Now here's where things get very, very complicated very, very quickly. So on top of this spreadsheet, I have deployed an app script, which is basically a custom coded app that lives on top of your spreadsheet. And you can deploy that to do a lot of different things. So this is what the app script menu looks like. And here is where we are able to see I've configured a few different script files, and all of these work from kind of top to bottom, calling each other as it runs through this script. The way that this script is written is that when you have something in a received status, there will be a timed execution of this that happens every 5 minutes to look for that received status and then run through the script, which is where it combines the pulling and extracting of the data, the conversion of that data into text, and then the application of Gemini AI on top of that converted text to turn out structured data. Let's break that down. So as I'm going from top to bottom here, this entry point script that I've written, and by me, I mean AI has written, gives us the ability to see that we are first kind of getting this in the process. So we status equals status processing. And then if there's any errors along the way, it's going to throw out an error that we're missing a file on a job. And then step one is the PDF to Google Doc creation of the different lines. The output of this looks like this text here. So we're taking that upload and then basically just converting it into different lines of a spreadsheet. So the ability to see this PDF as text is a super important piece of this puzzle, because then when we have the text in a unstructured or a just straight text form, we're able to apply more of the successful prompting on top of that. Then it's going to write that text, and then it's going to do some diagnostics on it, and then it's going to chunk it out into sections using Gemini AI, and then it's going to call the Gemini per section to get that structured data output, and that step results in something that looks like this, where we are starting to put together these sections. And then the final product is that it's going to run through that secondary prompt and give us that structured product service category and product service description, along with the price, the currency, and then the source section that it came from as the final output of this entire journey. So as we go through here, we're seeing this entry point is going to go through a 4-step process. We are parsing the sheet and then adding the CSV. And then finally, the 4th step somewhere down in here is that it's going to trigger an email to email this to the recipient that has submitted that form, so that they get the output in their inbox as an easy to download or convert into Google Sheet CSV file. So lots of stuff going on in here with the other files. So we are baselining some configurations, and then we have all of these helpers that we have a lot of the tinkering. If you follow through this conversation, you're going to see that I go back and forth, and there's a lot of work with how about we add this helper, and here's a helper that does this specific thing to get that data in the structured, organized way that we're looking for, is what all of these different helpers do. So here's the parser. Here is another, let's see, helper that is a section chunker. So the nice thing about this is that as I was going back and forth with ChatGPT on how to refine our approach and get the results that we're looking for, it was very kind in the code that it provided with all of these descriptions. And none of this is actually code. This is just messages to the user of what this stuff is doing down below. So we can extract out all of this to just have it as clean code, but this tells the developer or anyone else looking at this code what exactly those functions and stuff down below it actually does. So with a little bit of familiarity, you do kind of start to crack the code of what this code structure looks like to start to be able to see what you are looking for. And then the nice thing about all of this is that we are in individual rows here, like we are in a true developer environment. So if there are any errors, the error is calling out a specific row where that error is coming from, and you can pop that back into ChatGPT, and usually the solution comes shortly thereafter as well. So a lot of troubleshooting did happen. Some bug fixes did happen within this, but ultimately the end product is that if you go to our now Pholeo website and click on the AI Toolkit in the PDF menu converter, you're going to be able to see this embedded form, which is exactly from that Zapier interface. Put in your email, put in the venue property, and click submit. And then an email is going to return with that submitted data converted into that spreadsheet for you. So very fun to play around with, and hopefully this kind of starts to scratch the surface on some of where AI can apply itself into the event technology world. Would love to hear any questions you have, and feel free to follow our journey on YouTube so to get more videos like this. And if you have an idea of we really need this tool in the event industry when it comes to event logistics, I am all ears. Let me know.